Shakespeare.
Can you say Yu-Gi-Oh, baby?
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Thank you, baby.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yo-yo.
Good job, baby. Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back again for another Market Watch investments video for you guys tonight. Have a plethora of things I'm going to be showcasing for you guys. These are going to be my personal selections, and I do hope that you enjoy. Getting things kickstarted tonight is going to be Crackdown. This is going to be the prismatic reprint out of 2020 Lost Memory Tins. Highest rarity that we have here on the TCG, and this card is actually really good. Artwork is a little silly, but all around a fantastic card in general. Relatively good price points on this. Going to be looking at first editions near mint, lightly played as always, and 3 stacks and above for starting market price. And it's roughly around 3 bones after you factor in shipping for near mint first editions. Yu-Gi-Oh! Daily has a whopping 88 stack here. And this is just an all-around great card in general. And there is actually there's another version, of course. Obviously the original print super rares out of Dark Neostorm are going to run you roughly around about 2 bones, roughish, approximate. We're going to go first edition here and go to 3 stacks. This is relatively affordable as well, but you might as well drop an extra bone and get Prismatic Secret. It's just like superior in every way. Looks really gorgeous. So they're pretty much the same price points even for first edition prints here for the originals. I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, props for being the original print, but the Prismatic Secrets just in all aesthetic capacity are just all around going to be probably like the better choice on that. I don't know why it keeps on rewinding. Alright, next is going to be the Shining Darkness Snuffus. I talk about this card relatively frequently, kind of pops in every now and then. Amazing artwork, still to the day a solo print secret rare out of the Shining Darkness. Shining Darkness is a relatively infamous set, very old, great nostalgia history behind it, and again, this being a solo print secret rare, high rarity secret rare, really great artwork, dual effect here. Pretty cool. And the only thing is I really wish they made it with a plant. I got a thing for level 1s, really like level 1s, but they really should have made this a plant. I mean, all around great circumferencing card, but they should have made it a plant. It's kind of interesting that they made it a beast here, but we're seeing some really interesting price points here. Starting market price for even single stacks slightly played first edition is roughly around almost 11 bones, and continues to trickle up to around 16 after that. Only 2 pages of availability. If we switch over to stacks, there's actually only going to be 2 listings, 5 and 13, starting for 26 and 30. So this is definitely increased relatively, I wouldn't really say significantly, but relatively enough to take notice. But interesting enough. I love reviewing this card. And next is going to be Dark Grepher. This is going to be the original OG print, secret rare prints out of Phantom Darkness. This is just rightfully so, and it's some pretty insane price points. Starting market price here for first edition is going to be over 85 bones for lightly played here. If you want near mint, it's going to go to 105 bones after you factor in shipping, and these are all not even stacks. I mean, there's a couple twosies here, 2 pages of availability. So if we actually switch over to stacks, we're going to see the price points here. There's actually no availability for lightly played near mint for stacks for first editions exclusively, so you can kind of hunt elsewhere for your play sets or higher. Of course, there is some relatively great alternatives. This is obviously the original highest rarity. Same set produced the super rare from the same set, which is actually, I think this was a special edition apparently. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, so this was a special edition. So interesting that this, usually the promo cards aren't from the same set. Usually they're reprints from prior sets, but I guess there was kind of a change and break of the regulation here for this one, as they made it as a special edition. Being special edition, still relatively good money here. We're going to go ahead and switch over the settings again. And it looks like there's a 2 stack here for roughly around 2 bones. Again, this was a special edition, so there is no first edition print specifically for this print. We're going to switch over to stacks. Looks like there's about 3 stacks here. Starting stack of 6 is about 5 bones. And pretty much all across the board, they're 5 bones, but this one has this $3 shipping, so just be aware of that. I would say that out of all the other versions, that would probably be a really good alternative. I would even say better than the Ultra Rare. Again, I mean, even though this is from Turbo Pack Booster 3, it's pretty cool, but unfortunately it is at the most disgusting rarity of Ultra Rare, which is severely unfortunate. The Dark Savior Super Rare is like under a bone, you know, relatively newer reprint subset, so some good availability on that. But ideally, I think for the price point and for aesthetic material, I think the Dual Terminal 6 commons look very nice. I'm a huge Advent fan of dual terminal in general. We're going to go ahead and switch over the settings and see the true market price. And I mean, these are pretty much a bone, like a bone, 2 bones across the board. Game Time CC has near mint a 30 stack here for not even 2 bones before you factor in shipping. This is an amazing market price, especially seeing how there's some incredible stacks here. We got 30, 12, and 3 pages of availability for Stacks Plus. We're talking about near mint DTs. These are a steal deal. I would not be surprised if these don't go by fast. This is one of the most infamous Dark support cards of all time. Really great artwork, really great history merit behind it, you know, with Dark Arm Dragon and all that good Teledat era. Amazing stuff. I highly recommend that you guys definitely should probably get at least a playset of this. I don't even think I have a playset yet. I really need to invest. I'm actually probably going to try to cop up some of these, honestly, because this is a really good deal for an amazing card and an amazing rarity, and it's just all around ridiculously affordable right now. Next is going to be Armageddon Night, so kind of the twin brother to Grepher here. Again, Phantom Darkness is going to be the original super rare prints. There's several super rare prints that I'm going to get into later in this video, but we're going to go ahead and start with the original OG prints here. And starting market price has it about lightly played first edition, roughly around 5 bones after you factor in shipping, 4 or 5 bones, pretty much all across the board. And it looks like the first stacks here is going to be almost amount just a Phantom under 8 bones for lightly played first edition here for a 3 stack from Dolly's, and there's 2 pages of availability. Now, as I said before, there are several other reprinted super rare prints here. We have the Secret Forces reprint, which is, you know, under a bone, relatively very affordable. Dark Savior super rare, just like the Grepher treatment. Got another super rare reprint out of here. And I guess that was it. So I guess there's only 2 other alternatives. I thought there was more, but there's plenty of alternatives. Ideally, I would probably go for the Secret Forces first because it's older and it looks like it's relatively the same price as the Dark Saviors. But both, you know, first edition super rare prints, relatively nice. If you can, I really don't think it's that bad for only 5 bones, even though it is like pretty much double the price. It is very much a very nostalgic, very collectible set. Phantom Darkness and Light Destruction are probably one of the most infamous light and dark sets of all time. So really good history merit on that print note. Next is going to be Fossil Dyna. This is the original secret rare prints out of Light of Destruction, one of the trifectas of anti-meta, just a complete 3 of, and the majority, if not all, right up there with Thunder King Rao potentially, and Inspector Border, and of course Banisher of the Radiance. Really amazing card. White Mexican is a giant anti-meta fan himself, so we're going to go ahead and look at some price points here. We're looking at, again, first edition copies. Lightly played first edition starting market price is going to be 75 bones. It's going to quickly trickle up to about 90 bones and start to get into the 100 price points for the near mint first editions. There's only 2 pages of availability here, no stacks here on the first page, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can see. And it doesn't even look like there is any stacks here. There is no option to do 3 or more, so it looks like there is no stacks. We'll go ahead and switch over to the second page just to verify really quick. So 2 ofs are going to be the highest price point, and these get to some pretty ridiculous numbers, bottling all the way out to 500 bones with a very bolsterous price point here from Castillo's Collectibles. So really great. Of course, there's some alternative versions. We had the, was it 2012, I believe? We had a comment from Astral Pack 4, the 2011, very infamous set. I believe this was the, like, around the era of Generation Force and Dawn of XYZ and a whole bunch of that. Leviathan Tin, great stuff. Super rare, which is actually, you know, not quite, it's still relatively affordable. I mean, it's only a couple bones here, so very affordable. Because it is relatively cheap, just going to go ahead and start out with stacks here, lightly played. Again, this is a tin promo super, so there is no first edition prints. There's a 3 stack here for 2 bones for you factor in shipping, then it goes to about 3.5 for a 3 stack, and then around 4 bones for near mint for a 6 stack here. So increased, not significantly. I mean, this card's always been like around like a bone, 2 bones for ever since its dawning. It's been relatively very affordable. This is a really great print. Again, I love super rares because they're still aesthetically pleasing. They're still hollow foils, but they are just super rares, so they're perfect, ideal for playability purposes, for playing in your deck, tournaments, games with your friends, whatever it may be, because, you know, they are just super rares. So if they get a little lightly played, it's not really a big deal because they're not super high rarity, but they are still hollow foil and they look nice. It's kind of like this white Mexican theory I have, and it's also something that I just kind of a personal play style myself. I like to do it especially with my hand traps as well. Alternatively, of course, there is the Dual Saga Ultra. Now, Dual Saga is very unique on its own merit alone. It's a very, very special holofoiling to it, and still to the day, it has not been reproduced, this special ultra rare holofoiling. So, really, really great stuff on that. And another fun fact about this set is I don't believe that there is unlimited prints. I think this was all just first edition print. I don't think it had an unlimited manufacturing, because you can see all the listings on here. They're all the way through the last page. They're all first edition. So it's kind of like a Starstruck Blast kind of process here, that they only manufactured it in first edition, which is pretty cool. So this one's going to be roughly around 3 bones. Even for the first stacks here, near first edition is roughly around 3 bones, so continues to trickle up after that, about 5 pages of availability. So this is a really great one too, honestly. I mean, this is even better than the super rares, and you can kind of see the price point even reflects that. So honestly, if you want to go for that, a little bit less availability, but really great set, really unique set, and great merit on that, and it's really aesthetically pleasing, really great. I mean, normally I don't like ultra rares by any means, but like stuff like DT and Dual Saga is really, really great. Also, of course, like tournament packs and stuff is some of the older Shonen Jumps and all that. So all around, completely up to you guys. Obviously, the secret rare is super expensive, but the Dual Saga exclusives and the tin supers are really, really great as well. Next is going to be Summon Limit. So I'm just going to be reviewing the ultra rare. This is the latest print that we've had here from Battles of Legends Heroes Revenge. Of course, we had all the, I'm not really sure the proper terminology, the Duelist League, I think it was, the purples and the greens and the reds and all those, the blues, all these crazy things. I don't really know much about that, so I'm actually not going to be covering, I'm not going to be reviewing that, because I'm not really sure about those. I don't really collect or invest into those cards. So of course there's the original commons, which are going for about half this, or about 5-6 bones. So at this price point, you might as well just get the ultras at this point, even though they are the disgusting rarity of ultra rare. It is currently the only holofoil that we have. Really hoping that this gets reprinted. This is an ideal anti-meta card, and this is also a really great supporter card for slower rogue decks. I personally run a playset of this in my zombie horde build, and it works fantastically. Like, I mean, starting, like, I don't even side these. I run these. My trap lineup is pretty much 3 of these, 3 impermanents, and what's the other 3? I can't remember. I think actually these 3, Summon Limit and Impermanence, are the first lineups for traps, and have like Decree in the side deck and a whole bunch of other stuff. But really, really great stuff all around. So this has actually decreased significantly. I know this card was like around like 20-15 bones for quite a bit. It's got some skyrocketed in popularity, and people realize what a devastating card this is. And it looks like you can get the most affordable first edition here for roughly around 9 bones, and then it goes to 10 bones for like played first edition from rare value cards here for the first 3 stack. So significant decrease here, which is good, because this card is just ridiculously expensive, and there's no way that a subset reprint set ultra should be worth anything much like this. But this is a really, really great card, and there isn't a lot of prints out in circulation. So relatively understandable, and it continues just to be roughly around 10 bones. I mean, lightly played all across the board. First edition 10 bones for a 3-stack, and 11 bones for a 6-stack for near first edition. And there's about 2 pages of stacks. So all around, just an amazing card. Really, really hoping that we get a secret reprint. This card would just look magnificent in a secret rare reprint. Speaking of secret rares, we have Topologic Transylvania. This is a really, really underrated Link card. Relatively older, Flames of Destruction, really killer artwork. The artwork kind of reminds me of like Metal Gear Solid, if you guys played, not the OG, but the first for PlayStation 1. Like, I'm a total 90s babies, and I used to play Metal Gear Solid on my PlayStation 1. And at the end, this boss is like Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear, and it looks kind of like this, because the legs are all like beefy, and I don't know, it just kind of reminds me. And I don't really know if these look like remind me of like Venus flytraps, or like combs or brushes or something. It's kind of tripping me out, but all around, really great. Of course, Hyrie is secret rare, so very, very aesthetically pleasing. Link cards are really, really great in secret rare, in my personal opinion. We're going to go ahead and look at starting market price. This is relatively affordable, around 4 bones for refactor and shipping, even for near mint first editions, pretty much all across the board. And they go up to roughly around 5 bones after you factor in shipping. If you switch over to stacks, it's going to jump all the way up to about 7 bones. Core TCG holding up 3-stack for 7 bones. And it's going to bomb out at 15 for a 4-stack here. So this is really, really great. Of course, there are the well, actually, it wasn't 2018, it was to 2019, is useless because it reproduced it in the discussing rarity of ultra rare. So we don't talk about that. Tour Bus from the Underworld is going to be next. This has seen a little bit of growth. This is a huge card that I'm a great advocate of. I talk about this card in and out all the time. Not as popular, of course, as Tour Guide from the Underworld, but still very much similar artwork with Tour Guide here. And it's got the Underworld bus, and then other soul, crack mountain looking thing here is really, really great. It's a high rarity secret rare, of course, and it's from a very, very old set, Order of Chaos, a very infamous set. This is the set that I believe donned us Wind-Ups and Insectors, which are some really, really great old school fanboy fodder decks, and just an amazing format in general in the game, our game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Here. So we're going to go ahead and look at some price points here. First editions here, starting market price lightly played is going to be 16 bones, and it's going to jump up to about 18 to 20, and it's going to continue to trickle up. It looks like the first deck that we have here is going to be the bottom of the first page for 25 bones a piece, 4-stack for near mint first edition, and there is a 2-stack available on that. And let's go ahead and we'll just to clarify how many stacks. Looks like there's 2 listings available, or actually only 1 listing available. Okay, so 25 bones is the new market price for stacks for near mint first editions of the original secret rare copy. All around amazing. I mean, well on its way bleeding into the collector's market. I think this card has great potential. Of course, there is really that's pretty much it. I mean, this is the secret rare original one is really going to be the only one you're going to go for, because this card all around just in playability is not good. You just want it for collectability purposes. Next is going to be Reiko Lightsworn Hunter. So this is really great because this is a generic 1-for-1 per se. You can flip it and sync it off, or XYZ or Link or whatever it may be, or maybe use it for a BLS material in the graveyard. I mean, whatever have you. Really great artwork. Lightsworns in general, I think it's safe to assume. I mean, there's so many different types of light decks and dark decks, and crazy amounts of support for both those attributes. But Lightsworn is a really fun engine. It's a great powerhouse engine. They have a lot of great draw cards and dig cards, and this is an all-around generic card. It's great because it can just it's a standard destroy 1. You can destroy magic, a trap, a monster, whatever it may be, and you burn 3, and it's a light, and do what other side stuff you want to do with this. But this is the original super rare prints out of Light Destruction, and these are going for some pretty crazy numbers here. Starting market price for first editions lightly played is 15 bones. The first stack slightly played is 15 bones as well for a 3-stack. There's a 2-stack here for 15 bones, and then it continues to trickle up into the 20 mark, and then there's only 2 pages of availability. So this is again a really great support card to a really great deck, which is Lightsworns, and Light Destruction is just all around just an amazing card filled with some ridiculous infamy here. Looking at some alternative versions, specifically for the Star Foils, the Battle Pack Epic Dawn Star Foils exclusively for the first editions. These are really the only other alternatives that we really have currently in the TCG that I would personally invest in. I mean, if you're not going to go in, again, first editions exclusively, because it's more kind of a collector's point. I mean, you can play the first editions if you want, but I mean, that's like a 15-bone super rare, so might as well cop up some of these specifically for the Starfoil first editions, because there is unlimiteds and there is just the black rares or white rares or whatever it is from these. So these are very, very affordable still. I mean, well under a bone here. We're going to switch over to the first editions, and again, they're pretty much like not even a bone a piece. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to the 3 stacks and kind of see what the market price is on that. And again, here's just Alter Reality Games has 6 near my first edition for half a bone before you factor in shipping here. So this is still very, very attainable, specifically for the Starfoil first editions. This is a very, very great alternative. I highly recommend that you guys go for this for playability purposes, and then go for the first edition supers for collectability. Of course, there is the gold series for Pyramid Edition, which I really did like. This set is really cool. Like actually, like the cases, the little like packaging came with a little small play mat, which was pretty cool. I mean, for like a $20 set or $25 or how much ever it was back then, pretty cool to get a little mat These came out a little dark though. The Ghost Golds, of course, everyone loves the Ghost Golds. I've been talking about the Ghost Golds forever. The hybrids, really, really great, unique on its own merit alone. The only rarity, and actually the only Magic and Trap card, Solemn Judgment and Mystical Space, I feel the only Magic and Trap cards in the entire game to have been produced in that unique rarity of that Ghost Gold hybrid or Ghost rarity, which is still very much a Ghost. So completely up to you guys, but ideally, again, the Star Foils and the first edition originals are going to be what you want to go for. So talking about Light Swarm draw power, we have the highest rarity ultimate rare of Solar Recharge, again downing out of the original set, Light of Destruction. This is just going for some obscene amount of money as well. We're going to be looking at first editions. The first market price slightly played is going to be roughly around 65 bones. That's going to drop to around 72 for a 2-stack. If you want near mint, it's going to go all the way, bust the cap of the 100 point to roughly around 110 bones, and that's for a 2-stack. Let's see if there even is any 3-stacks. There is quite a few, surprisingly, 3-stacks here. Starting market price for the stacks is going to be 115 bones for near mint first edition from Overdose Gaming, and it's going to bottom out at almost 180 bones a piece for this 3-stack here. So very, very incredible. An amazing card again, and just an amazing set and an amazing rarity. The ultra rare not mirrored reprints, but again, Light of Destruction, the alternative prints here are going to be significantly more affordable. Starting market price is going to be roughly around 7 bones for a lightly played first edition. Near mint's going to be roughly around 8 bones, and there's going to be about 3 pages of availability. So we're going to switch over to stacks here and see what the stack prices are. A single stack here from Dual Devastator is about 9 bones here for near mint first edition. So really not a lot of availability for stacks. You might have to check eBay or Amazon or whatever alternative platforms you guys have. Ideally, I think this is the best one to play. It is a disgusting rarity of ultra rare, but it is very much the original print. It's going to have the Light Destruction stamp, and of course you got to go first edition. Alternatively, of course, there is several, I don't want to say several, but there was the Battles of Legends Light Revenge Ultra Rare, which ideally, actually, this is kind of nice, honestly. I've been slowly picking up Light Swarm in highest rarity, so I would act, if you, I mean, there's the ultimate rares, but they're like ridiculously expensive. But if it's looking for collectability purposes, and you're just gonna kind of like showcase it, you might as well try to get ultimate rares. And if the ultimate rares are too pricey, the original print first editions, I know these are the ones I personally have, but for playability purposes, even the Ancient Prophecy special edition super rare promos, those are really, really cheap. Those are even fine. I would actually prefer to play these personally over the crap reprints of the ultra rares from Battles of Legends. This is an amazing set, but just a terrible rarity, very, very cheaply made looking, and then you just have this total like utter oblivion of garbage, and then a commons that no one wants to play. So ideally, really, I think if you're gonna actually like play these cards, I think you should definitely go for the super rares, because again, this is just a special edition super rare, and it is very much a super rare. And again, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm a crazy old fool or something, but I just love playing with super rares. I think super rares is like an ideal rarity to play with, and these are roughly around 2 bones pretty much all across the board. Let's see if there is some stacks here that we can review. Yep, 2 bones, and then it jumps up to about 2.5 after that, and about 3 for core TCG, but they have a fat stack of 27, and they are near mint, so completely up to you guys for that. Next is going to be Charge of the Light Brigade. This is going to be the original secret rares out of the very infamous, legendary, high history merit of the Duelist Genesis. This was the set that, I want to say, I believe the first set. This was also a transition set that donned us our first copies of Synchro Monsters for the extra deck, which is really, really great. Of course, we got the infamous Stardust Dragon out of this, and Ghost and Ultimate Rare, which is very, very good. I believe it came Ultra Rare as well. 3 different prints from one set for the same card. Pretty incredible. So our market price for this is going to be, this is actually a European French for around 190 bones for lightly played first edition. Then it goes all the way up to 275 bones, and then 300, and then almost 500 bones, 455 bones for near mint first edition. And we're not even done. It just continues to trickle up. 2 pages of availability here. Let's even see if there are stacks here available on the market. There is a single stack of 3. Starting market price is going to be 600 bones for near mint first edition for the original. Very aesthetically pleasing, and this is just crazy. Like, again, like, this is Light Swarms are just, it's an amazing engine. It's a fun engine. It's a simplistic engine. It's a very splashable, flexible, diverse engine, and it's just huge fanboy fodder. There's just a great following behind this, and it's a very aesthetically pleasing, high rarities, great artwork, great effects, really runs smooth, great stuff. So of course there's some alternative versions. If you play with a $500, $600 solar recharge or charge the light brigade, like, it looks gorgeous, but like these are so nice. Like, I would keep them in like a very like a showcasing condition, like in a binder or like top loaders or in like a wall mirror. I'm not really sure, but this is just, these are in some insane numbers. I mean, it's just crazy that people play with this stuff. Alternatively, there's the Astral Pack 5 super rares, which, are, pretty cool because it's Astral Pack, it's a tournament pack and all that, and you got a plethora of commons, you got this crap gold one, but ideally, I think for playability purposes, the Stardust Overdrive super rare promos are going to be, again, the ideal versions to run. So we're going to look at lightly played near mint, and these are roughly around 3 bones for the single stacks. So we switch over to stacks 3 or more. Again, they're roughly around 2 bones with 99-cent shipping here, and they jump to about 4. So relatively more expensive, but again, I mean, this is kind of the more popular, a little bit more sought after, but very much so. I mean, if you're using the engine, it's mostly for drawability purposes unless you're actually running pure, but a lot of people don't really run pure Light Swarms anymore unless it usually has like a chaos variant, or they just use the engine for draw power, which is amazing at what it does. It's really effective. Next to be non-aggression area. So this is a slower card, Pharaonic Guardian, going back to generation 1 here, slow common trap card. 2 variants. There's this common original one, and I think it was like a Dark Rev or something, other one. This one comes first edition though, so I think this one is the more desirable one, personally, in my opinion. Very slow. I think this would be really crazy, maybe like too good if it was continuous. I kind of not really just realized that this isn't continuous, but it's slow setting, but it's pretty devastating if you think about it. I mean, if you have a deck that can really, like a shotgun deck that can really go off in like a turn and a half, 2 turns, this can pretty much win you the game. Now, it is a trap card, so it's slow. You have to set it, and you have to set it and has to survive a whole turn of your opponent because you have to activate it during your standby phase, but it is pretty detrimental, and I feel like a lot of people just don't know about this. It's kind of just lost in the black abyss of like the archives of like old Yu-Gi-Oh! And we're going to go ahead and look at some stacks here. Looks like we're starting out with stacks, relatively affordable. Near mint first edition is going to be not even a bone before you factor in shipping from Underworld. There's a 3-stack, 4-stack, 3-stack here, and they're all pretty much roughly around a bone a piece. So, interesting, just kind of wanted to showcase that really quick. System Down is going to be the last card that I have to showcase for you guys tonight. This is going to be the highest rarity as the Ultra Rare Original Print Cybernetic Revolution. This is just a ridiculously good card. Now, there isn't too many like crazy machine decks running around right now. The last popular one that I've seen running around of late was the Machina slash like what's the subset? The subset that had they all look like chainsaws and like bulldozers and all that crazy stuff, and I can't remember. It's slipping my mind right now, but that was the last one. Really combo heavy, a lot of like swarming and special summoning and recycling and a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So and of course you have Cyber Dragon players and hero players are always out there. Cyber Dragon Infinity is always a thing when Cyber Dragon's out there. They just reprinted Cyber Dragon as Ultimate Rare, so another bolster for Cyber Dragon players to come out of their carpet and wreak some havoc with Infinity. So this is just an all-around great card, and the sheer fact that this doesn't target and it doesn't destroy, it just completely wipes the board and the graveyard and removes them from play, so it's a lot more difficult for your opponent to recycle them, is just insane. There is a lot of cards that are target monster type specifically, but this card does the best, as it pretty much eradicates your opponent's plays with a single card and only 1,000 life points is very, very incredible. And then the sheer fact that this is very old and high rate ultimate, it's going to be just some insane, pretty relative value. I'm very surprised that it's actually at these price points here. First edition lightly played around 30 bones, and then starts to go up to about 40. There's 2 pages of availability. See if we can find it near mint. Deer Mint start at about 64 bones, then they'll jump to 71, and then all the way up to 100 bones for the Near Mint. For actually, that's the only stack here available on the market. So really, really great. Obviously, alternatively, there is the OTS Tournament Pack 2, which is quite aged now. Super rares, which personally I have these. I actually only have a playset of these specifically for playability purposes, just in case we get into a meta game where there is just an obscene amount of mirrored machine decks running around. And I think for its price, I think this is gonna be the best rarity. Again, I really appreciate super rares, so I think this is quite ideal. And looking for even at stacks here, again, this was an OTS, was it? Yeah, an OTS pack. Super. So it's not gonna come first edition, 4 bones pretty much all across the board, and then jumps up to about 6, and then 8 for the stacks after that. There's a stack of 60 here, and then only 1 page of availability. So again, this is gonna be your best alternative choice for the price, I think. And this is just an all-around amazing card. Link below is going to be to my Facebook. Any of you guys can message me, add me. I would love to talk to you guys about anything Yu-Gi-Oh related. Yu-Gi-Oh has been part of my life for almost 2 decades. I feel extremely compassionate about this game. I love the deck building, the brotherhood, the creativity, the dueling, the investments. There's so many amazing things that this game can bring to the table. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by the White Mexican, and I'll see you in the next video.